Hello everybody and welcome back to another episode of our 4th Age Total War Rohan No Deaths run, where the goal is to complete our campaign objectives while keeping every faction on the map alive. And we have just made a little bit more progress toward our goal with the taking of Fairfeld in between episodes. This was a tiny garrison, just 2 understrength units, and so I just took it off camera in a fairly straightforward assault. But this settlement is going to highlight the advantages of taking the fight to the Bjornings. They share our Northmen culture, and as such, we're going to get some use out of their alignment buildings. Their lords' feasts are the same type of building that we can build and have built in our own settlements, so they're going to be increasing Ways of the West alignment in our provinces. They're going to also be giving us all these other benefits, so we're going to keep those, which is very different from every place else that we've conquered, essentially. So that's a very nice thing. We're going to, on the other hand, destroy these muster fields, but I think everything else is good. The only thing that we're going to want to get rid of eventually is the Homeland Dominion, but we are going to have to wait on that, I believe, because we may have some more construction going on somewhere. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe we finished that recently. We are under siege by Tharbad up here at Last Ridge, but I think with all of the ranged units I have, and given the general poverty of the units that they're bringing to the assault, I think we'll be okay as long as they actually build some rams and attempt the assault. The siege just started. In case we need to go back and reconquer it, we certainly can with this army, but we've got a couple of seasons before the High Pass stronghold falls. Otherwise, I am noticing an interesting development up here, way in the northeast. Again, we've got our Dorwinian and Garth settlements right here, and we have not moved for a very long time in this region. But I'm seeing that Northrune has taken one of their armies towards Gwaithring, which is held by Dale. This is their enemy. And so it could be that they're trying to make some progress against them, which would be really interesting to see. I hope they succeed, but I suspect that they will not, and probably Rune will get there first. But let's see what happens. Oh no. What? Turncoat army, what was that? Oh. They bribed my Dunlander spearman levies. Well, I guess that's fine. But that's... okay, Tharbad. Typical Tharbadian nonsense. You do have to be careful of that. You know, sending... this is something that you do have to worry about with this mod. Sending units independently across the map when you're at war with another faction. If they have emissaries nearby, they're very susceptible to bribery, especially if they're understrength units. That didn't matter too much for us, but I think what did matter is that I think we lost a family member here, or in the region somewhere. Maybe not. This is a completely full stack. But in any case, we lost that army to bribery. That somewhat changes the balance of power in the region. It might make the Dunlandings a little less likely to submit to us, but to be honest, they're playing hard to get anyway, pretty hard. We've got a loyal esquire, which is going to give us some extra security versus assassination, some extra public order. Let's see where that guy is. Okay, he's in the capital. That would be useful to have over in the east here, where we are under Northrune's, under attacks from Northrune's agents. Let's see. I don't think we can train assassins, can we? Let me see. I'm wondering if that's an option for the Men of the West. Can we train a rogue? It doesn't look like it. All right. No, that's the healer. Let me see. Yes, we get a rogue. Okay, great. So this is something that we could train if we get it up to the 2nd level, Hall of Feasts. We could counter this guy, and we would probably stand a pretty good chance of killing him because he does not have great traits. Now, in terms of damage, it doesn't look like he did anything, and he's probably just going to increase the some of the security traits of my family members as a result. We've got some spies in here, or one. He is getting a little old, though, so I guess we could train another. And I'm not feeling like I need to spend money on this just yet, so I think we'll hold off. Yeah, Northrune did not accomplish anything at Gwaithring. Looks like Dale is still in possession. But we do have some forces that we're bringing over here to meet the Bjornings, and they still have a settlement over here in the Brownlands, but have not progressed south. I was hoping to see that big army head down here. Let's bring our spy over. It looks like this is not a fantastic army. Okay, it's got some archers. And, you know, it looks like 4 units of cav or just 3 with some dogs. This does not look too bad. They don't have any of their higher tier stuff, really. This army here, though, I'm thinking is looking pretty secure. My only concern is that the Grimbjorn could head up and cross directly over to Fairfeld. But if they come through here, we would ambush them. And, you know, that would be really effective, I think, with the army that we have. So we can fit 2 more units. Let's take 2 more cavalry. And we will continue just to shuttle these men over in support. I don't think we have anybody else on the way just yet. We do have a unit of cav here, so we'll bring him. But yeah, other than that, now we've got a full stack here. And I guess we could set it up on the crossing just to entice them to attack. We'll give it a turn. We'll see what they do. We've got some stuff we can add to this army. And I think for now, maybe the thing to do is to leave this army here. Fairfeld, let's see. You know, this one, I'm thinking the public order in my territories are looking quite good. So there's no reason for me not to start developing some of these places, and I think Fairfeld is going to be a pretty good bet. It's not going to be a homeland for us, but I think it might be a fiefdom. And so maybe what we'll do is we'll get this guy out of the settlement and see if we leave some infantry. How does that look? Yeah, it looks fantastic. Population's, of course, really low. That's keeping the public order up. We can train a scout immediately, so we'll definitely do that. I don't necessarily know that I want to take this army north. We know for sure there's a big army up here. And there's probably another 1 or 2 in the woods. And here's the big threat. So I'm thinking we can maybe bring them into the trees here. Oh, it's risky, though. We could get ambushed. Let's bring the spy. Okay, there's nothing in this clump of trees. I don't necessarily want to ambush this army because it's simply too huge. What I'd like to do is take them up here. Okay. And we're also in range for some mercenaries. Let's pick them up. Losing a little bit of cash now, but I think that's necessary. And so what they might do is they might besiege Fairfeld. Not a big deal if they even take it at this stage. So I'm actually feeling pretty okay about that. Now, in the last episode, we had taken Vornhallen, but we're unable to hold it because the public order was just too low, even with all of our men inside. We did destroy the population, so I think, you know, we might have slightly better luck this time, but it may just take a while before we can feasibly do that. And I'm noticing that we're no longer under siege in Lastbridge. So that's great news. Maybe what we can do then... Yeah, let's do it. I'd like to make this somewhat useful. And so we need to get the population up. The recruitment here is never going to be fantastic. It's going to be the Eriador stuff. But it's a chief city, so that means we could theoretically build all the way up here to Rittermark Scouts, Shields of the Mark, and Riders of the Mark. So we could get some good stuff out of here. It would be nice to have a strong recruitment center in the north if we really need it. That's right. We were considering taking the island. What that would do is it would require me to either move the army that's standing outside Garth as a deterrent. Oh, they almost fell for it. Or I would have to train a new army and send it on the ship. The latter I don't really want to do because it's expensive. Okay, there we go. Lastbridge has some problems. Okay, we've got a Sally battle here. Okay, so here's what we're doing with Sallies. I am just not fighting trolls. So that's what we're doing with Sallies. I'm keeping it under siege. We're slowly wearing them down, I guess. But we've got an army that's basically in the area. Now let's check this out. Okay, this is actually livable. Even with what I think is a spy inside. Oh yeah, 75% unrest. So that's fantastic that we're able to hold that. And Tharbad doesn't feel strong enough to really press the matter, so that's good. Yeah, let's just put this back under siege. We'll just get one of everything. And, you know, maybe at some point they're not even going to bother to sally out. Maybe they will. Now, down here... Oh, Jeez, they're standing right there. Yeah, let's just bring all the men over into Woldburg. Okay, Dale and North Rune, yeah, they go back and forth with ceasefires. Alright, lost our emissary in Dunfrecka. And I think we do want to keep an emissary in that city. It's, you know, chief city for us. Yeah, we're losing cash again. Okay, Greyholm Dominion has our Dominion building. So it's just a matter of time until we get some of these buildings up and running. What do I want to do with this army, though? We've got a spy right here. So, you know, let's keep training scouts actually in Fairfield while the population is still you know, high enough to allow us to do that. I don't think this army wants to go north. There's going to be Bjornings, there's going to be Woods, and this army's not super strong. But what this army could do is gradually move back down here and maybe try to ambush one of these smaller armies. So let's just send the scout around and just make sure we're not missing something. Okay. Seems a little excessive, but I want to make sure. And maybe what we could do is also get in a position where we could move on this, although Mid-Deeping is looking pretty well staffed lately. The Bjornings do have to worry somewhat about the Reunited Kingdom because they're at war with them now as well. And that's right, we're working on Cowan Druin as well. 4 more seasons and that'll be looking a little bit better for us. Okay. They're going right for Woldburg. I guess that makes sense. That means we're going to have to attack and deal with that. Well, we're not going to have to. I'm going to say no to this guy. One option is, of course, just to call their bluff. And I don't know how they got around me without triggering the ambush. But we could theoretically say, no, you know what? Fine, take Woldburg. I'm just going to move towards Mid-Deeping. I do want to see what they have in the area because there were an awful lot of men. Okay, here they are. And they're heading south. I don't want the Reunited Kingdom to get this either. So one option is just to ignore Woldburg and like move this army over to threaten. We could pick up some nice mercs on the way. So let's try that. We're going to move out in a very obvious way. This army could turn and hit us, but I'm not too concerned about that. So the mercenaries in the Brownlands and Ravanian generally can be pretty good. You can further east get cavalry, and you can also get these bowman mercenaries, and these guys in particular, the Rovanian Ranger mercenaries, are probably they're definitely like the best mercenary unit here. I think everything else is probably fine though, so we'll keep that. Now we've got at least nominally a full stack here, even though it's fairly under strength. We'll keep this army at the Undeeps, and then if they want to defend it, they're going to have to go back through me, so that may trigger an ambush. We'll give them a turn. If they don't look like they're going to swallow the bait, we will turn and hit them with the army that is there. So let's bring another one of these scouts out. We'll keep the sneaky one in the settlement just for counter-spying, and aha, here we go. Okay, this looks like a more reasonable army, so this might be moving towards me, but it's going to take him quite a while to get there. So that's plenty of time for this guy to intercept. We could deal with the air here, Gum the Hunter, pretty easily, I am confident. So you need your spies in the Anduin Vale. Excellent. We've got a coming of age, and he's quite good. A competent governor, an adept commander. Okay. So we're losing cash. Lots of forces aiming around Gwaithring, but we've also got men approaching Garth and maybe even Belligant, but we've got so many governors here. I'm really tempted to take them over and deal with Hythe, but I think we're going to have to wait a little bit longer. Another thing I guess we could do is start taking Belligant or Dorwinian settlements again. We could take them down, put them down to just one, like this one. I'm thinking this one because it is the Oh, Gargoyle is the capital. So we could possibly take this and hold it out against them. But you can see that the forces are approaching, and so we're probably going to have to fight again pretty soon. Let's see. Can we retrain the scout levies here? Yes, we can. And the population here is quite reasonable. So let's actually do that. Yeah, we'll go with some Rohan riders also. And then we can also grab mercenaries, which I think I will. A couple of slingers, always very helpful against North Rune. And we'll see if they attack us, which I'm expecting they will. Ah, it worked. So, let's take a look at that. So, Woldburg is now no longer under siege, and Grimbjorn is moving as much as he can. He seems to very much be aware of my ambushing army, but not wanting to trigger it. So, he must have... I have to admit, after all these years, I'm not totally sure how ambushing works. In other words, what affects whether you are seen or not. Is that something to do with traits? Is it a completely flat thing that is the same no matter what faction you're playing? Or is it a thing that your characters can get good at? But in any case, sometimes you can walk right next to an ambushing army and you don't trigger it. And that seems what they've done here. It seems a little fishy to me, but they know that they're going to have to attack me or take slow movements to get around. But over here, we could attack mid-deeping and potentially get it this turn. So let's see. That would, on the one hand, that would be a great thing. On the other, it would sort of defeat the purpose of drawing these armies down because they'd be a little less likely to attack me, but let's do it anyway. What we've got outside is a good mix of stuff, honestly. This is a half stack, but it's quite strong. Used well, this could be very formidable. They've got some of the axemen, some calves, some dogs, some archers. So this is pretty decent. They've also got, a noble who's one of these Bjorning guard units, and Bjorning axemen to reinforce. So what I'm hoping is that, the reinforcements will show up. They'll all form up nicely. I will be able to attack them, chase them, and just take the city that way. Nice flat open territory here. So there's our javelin throwers, the Rohan riders. Here's our chargers, which are looking a little ragged. We've got Rittermark spears, and we've got our general, Folkwalda of the Fold. And then we've got our weird infantry line. Now here's the Rovanian Ranger mercenaries, which are available here, and I think also in the East Bight. So a very good unit. Javelins, axes, and so I kind of want to keep them back here. We've got lots of archers. We've got some levies, some woodmen. Okay, I think this is pretty reasonable. Let's just start, and let's wait. I'm watching the map to see if the reinforcements are coming. So the generals here, the nice thing about the Bjornings is their generals are infantry, and so they're very easy to deal with in a lot of ways. They're not going to be skirmishing away from you. They're not going to, generally speaking, outrun you. And they are approaching. So I'm going to wait till they get there before I make my move. All right, they're closing in on their reinforcements. What we'll do now is start peeling these guys off. And let's just move everybody forward. They're going to send some archers at me. So these Rohan spears are going to take some casualties. And there's only 2 units of cav here. The trick is, of course, going to be dealing with them, when it comes time to chase people down. So I think I want to peel some of them off. Yep, here come their archers. Let's go way around, actually. Everyone else is going to rush up. Okay. Here comes their cav. I'm actually fine with that. It's going to be very messy. We've got our archers in play. That's the general. We're going to take this guy out. We're going to lose a lot, because this is a pretty robust unit, these Woodman Riders. I'm happy to see their generals going after my other cav. I think we can win that pretty handily. And we do have to watch our own general. Look at how fast these Bjorning Guard run. And they're charging in, and they've caught us. All right, let's take that captain out. All right, let's turn around and hit the Bjorning Guard. Their captain is down. I'm going to ignore the Woodman Axes for the moment. We'll just form up. Okay, we got to get out of here. We're going to get killed. We are... These Rittermark spears are doing surprisingly well, but the Bjorning Guard do a lot of damage. Okay, Axemen are hitting us. No, they're not. Okay, let's go after them then. We're causing some routing with our general. Woodman spears are doing a number on us, and the Bjorning Axemen are cutting through our left, which is, of course, levies, and we've got Axemen too. But we have the javelins and the ranged guys to sort of do their own thing. All right, let's go. Everybody go after these archers, and there goes the general. The enemy general, I should specify. A very dangerous unit, usually to infantry, but not a unit that is that dangerous to cav. And if you can, catch them, you're typically going to do a lot of damage. All right, I think we've just about got this wrapped up, though. Same thing with these Bjorning Axemen. They are really formidable in the infantry clash, but if you've got ranged units, you're going to do damage to them. And so we're cutting them down. Both of their captains are dead at this point. We're going to take out those Woodman bows. Let's get yeah, some of these guys can come back. And if they cut every single one of my Woodman mercenary axemen down, which I expect they will, then we'll just be able to skirmish away from them and kind of kill time until the cavalry returns. Here's their other unit of Bjorning Axemen, probably racing back to the city at this point. They're gone. And let's get our other riders up there. We're just getting in position. Let them wear themselves out. They do have some spears, but they're utterly tired. They're down to just 44 men. Alright, all these guys do have arrows left. Now that my men are routing, they're going to start shooting those arrows. And javelins. And... let's do it. Let's charge in with our lighter axemen too. Yeah, they're broken. There they go. So, not too bad. We ought to get the city out of this. And, although it means that now I'm not so sure that the other big Bjorning armies in the area are going to come after us. But we will see. Victory! Yes, indeed. We can walk right into mid-deeping. There's not even a question about it. I think I've got enough archers in this army. What I kind of need are bodies to serve as garrison. So I will do that. Whoops. No. We'll just go after mid-deeping there. I don't even need to lay desolate. We'll just occupy it. I do want to check out the city. Okay, they did build a Dominion building. That's kind of good. We can get rid of their control posts. And we'll see what they will do. They've got a lieutenant here. And they've, of course, got Grimbjorn. So both of these armies together are something I don't necessarily want to deal with. But, you know, I would like to fight them in the open, relatively speaking. So maybe what I'll do is I'll move these guys out now. We'll take up a position on the hills, sort of here in the northwest. Now, the problem with this is it is within range of both of these armies, so if they're smart, they could hit me with both. I'm curious to see if that's going to happen. All right, last bridge in Fairfeld, so we can work on the Dominion here. This is going to cost us, you know, a decent amount. What's the public order looking like up here? Still 70. And this is actually, you know, not as expensive as I thought it was going to be. All right, Grimbjorn decided to attack. That's good news, I think. We'll see what the ground looks like. Well, it's not ideal. We don't have quite the hilltop I was envisioning. But since they're attacking, we know that they are going to be centered right here. They could certainly go up to the left and get higher ground, so we're not going to win too much by deploying over here. On the other hand, they are just a very infantry-heavy army. So if we're basically over here to our right, I think we should do okay. So let's set up there. We'll get our archers figured out first. And then we've got a kind of infantry line. That's all of them. And it looks like the levies are in the center. Axes, these axes on the right. That's fair enough. We do have a decent amount of horse archers, actually. So I'll put them kind of down. I like to have my horse archers over on the left, and I'm guessing they're going to swing uphill. So we'll swing over and catch them, is the plan. With our riders of Rohan, they can probably support the horse archers. And we've got the lancers over here with the center of the army, and I'd like to get them, you know, kind of on the right, I guess. This is a pretty reasonable army, too. We've got the Rittermark spears, and we've got the riders of the King's House. And yeah, they're pretty much where I thought. I guess we can try to beat them up here on the hill. And let's get the Lancers and the General over there, too. This is going to be a very skirmish-heavy battle, I'm just realizing. Alright, so we could focus on the bows, which we actually are, because they're going to be just the closest units to us, most likely. There's not a lot of terribly formidable units here. The Bjorning Guard, of course. Otherwise, I don't think they have any of their Bjorning Axemen, so it's mostly archers that I'm worried about. 2 units of cav. And they're making a move, so let's head over here. Alright, we took them out very quickly. And all these units have skirmish, so we're throwing spears back at them. They're getting shot by my archers, and so they're not going to be a unit to worry about. Yeah, there they go. Alright, we'll pull these guys back then. And see what they're going to do next. Looks like they're just getting their bowmen over. So this is probably a job for my own archers to focus on. They've got a few units of archers. This is war dogs. Looks like we took out one of their units already. And they've got these very understrength units currently. So actually we'll focus on the rear one. We do have some riders they're holding back, and then the rest of their units, they don't know what to do. They don't know which way to move, so this is fantastic. We'll just shoot them for a while, and then when we're sick of that, we'll just move down. Okay, that's all of the archers, the enemy archers. And so usually that's an occasion when the AI starts to move. There they go. No, maybe not. They're just redeploying. Okay, so let's us move a little bit. If I can get close enough to shoot at these riders or even their general, that would be great. We're going to run out of arrows for the Rittermark bows, though. But they're very effective, you know, even against their infantry, as you can tell. I mean, we've just done nothing but shoot them pretty much straight on, and we are just destroying them. So the Bjornings are an extremely light faction. They're still not moving. All right, well, we'll keep this up. Whoops, I didn't mean to move him. And in fact, he's out of arrows, and they all are. So, all right, fair enough. They can still skirmish. I'll leave them on skirmish. There's no threat to them anymore. What would be really awesome is if I could take out all those Bjorning war dogs. But I'm thinking that the AI can't really see my archers because of the hill, right? If you get down here, you can't really see the Bjornings. And now they're moving. So I'm thinking that the AI line of sight actually kind of exists. We do have javelins on these guys, so that may be useful. Alright, love to take out these war dogs completely. Let's get ready to probably deal with this cav unit, because they're going to be charging everybody else up there. My infantry, I think, can face theirs. These are woodman spears, so that was not a great charge on my part. But I think we've got some decent momentum, or we should. We'll take some losses here. Alright, let's go after the Bjorning Guard. See how they do withstanding this charge. These guys are good against armor, and they do have some. Losing heavily, look how quickly they go down. Spear's coming in to support, but it's too late. And there he goes, lanced to death. I've got to imagine those wooden spears are going to rout pretty quickly following that. So this is one of the two big armies in the area, now essentially destroyed. We've got enough archers here that we are able to take out these infantry units as they approach our line, and they're just sitting ducks. It's so satisfying to be able to use your cav like this. So there's another army in the region. Okay, here we go with the Siege of Garth. That's an odd choice, but okay. They could have attacked with, like, just about any of these other armies. I'm wondering if I want to even answer that. We've got a bunch of slings in here. The city is not in great shape. There are a bunch of half-destroyed buildings, and it's just a wooden palisade, so I can't get my slingers up on the walls. But I almost think we could handle this. It's probably, I mean, for the size of the banner, it's probably like one unit of cav, and the rest is probably, you know, very light stuff. So I'm almost tempted to just ignore it and go for, like, their camp and see what they do. Let's see, I'm getting line of sight there because of Dale. Go for their camp? Yeah, let's do that. Let's see if they respond. It's 3 seasons. You know, this is going to fall sooner than Garth does unless they build some rams and win it in the assault. But if we take this, we can just keep the fort, and, you know, I'm even thinking maybe it's time to get Jarl Helkar and expose us to attacks from Rune. We've got armies sitting around here. We could do it. Rune is having a really hard time. They're just unable to take Nerysagil. And yes, would be opening up a front to our east, but we kind of already have one, right? We may as well, in a sense, have another army that we're using to... or another enemy that we're fighting in the area, because we've got an army that's available to reinforce. So that probably makes sense. But yeah, we're down a lot in cash. That is going to come back as we start to finish our construction. 1 season for the Outland Dominion here. 3 seasons for this. We don't want to let that go on accident. So remind me in 1 or 2 turns here. And this is going to take 3, so we'll see if they sally again. 7 seasons for this, and I think it's the same number. No, 5. Oh, this is Homeland. Oh my. Well, that's excellent news. Okay, so mid-deeping, we have and we've preserved it. Now the question is, what do I do with the army that took it? Probably want to get him out before he accidentally becomes governor. But I'm not sure if we're going to be able to hold it. Oh, yeah, easily. Okay. I'm overthinking this. We're at 85% with low income taxes with just a single unit of Woodman Mercenary Axemen. And this is a pretty cheap unit. 70 men, 110 upkeep. You know, they're good for this kind of duty. Just some extra numbers in battle and garrison duty. Now, this does potentially draw us into a conflict with Rovanian because now we share a couple of borders with them. But, you know, again, if they start trouble with us, that would certainly simplify my decision-making about this corner. And we could just say, okay, all of this then will be mine, minus a couple of settlements needed to keep Rovanian alive. But they have been expanding south, and even they've taken the Moran on, so that's very, very, very good for them. I don't think they're at war with anybody right now. Let's see. Yeah, they've managed to stay out of fights. They're allied with the Bjornings. They're allied with Harondor oddly, and they're allied with the Dwarves. So they've kind of got nothing else to do other than either attack Dorwinian or attack Dale or me. And I'm guessing that I will be next on the menu. Or the Reunited Kingdom, because they're kind of in the way of them, actually. Well, then I think the thing to do is to just keep pressing the attack. We've got this victorious army here. We don't know how long we're going to have Eomer kicking around. Folkwald is, you know, substantially younger. But we'll move him up through into the woods, and again, it's always important to keep our spy in the area. Yep, there's Gum the Hunter. Okay, so who do I want? I probably want Eomer doing the work here. I think I'm going to go right on the crossing. If they want to attack, they can do it there, and we'll have, you know, we'll have some archers and some cav to surround them as they come across. Well, Gum the Hunter did not take the bait, and in fact, he's moving east to try to take back mid-deeping by the looks of things. This is a pretty strong army, so I don't want Folkwalda engaging with it, I think. It's liable to be a pretty open field, which is, if they are on the attack, it's going to play to their strengths, and my units here are not the best. So I think I'm going to want to bring Eomer over. We'll see if he can actually attack here. He's just out of range. So what we'll do instead, I think I can get my guy. Let's bring him down south. We'll go right to the very edge of our movement points, and we'll take Eomer to bat against Gum. Now at the High Pass Stronghold, a couple of seasons, and that may capitulate, which would open up a new front here for us, which would be very nice, because we've got all these units that we could bring down unexpectedly. But let's see what we have in the region. We've got a scout here.
At your service, on my way.
Okay, there's another army. There's another one. So you never know. There could be some actual full stacks around. And there's also this kind of thing, which is very dangerous, potentially. There's elven hosts, you know, just barely over the border of their territory. And you can easily get into wars with them by accidentally ending on their territory. Oh, and there's an army coming from here, which is completely unexpected. All right. Well, that's what these guys are for. So I've trained up all of these reinforcements. I think I'll use a unit of archers for garrison, and I'll just bring them straight up north. We can bring them over here, and after that's taken care of, we can meet them up with Folkwalda's army. We did also finish our Outland Dominion at Cowan Druin, and I can't remember if we checked out what we're going to get for training, but it's mostly Gondor stuff, right? This is not that great. It's just something to get for the bragging rights, basically. Now, in the in between episodes or in between turns, I saw that the Reunited Kingdom yet again had to take this. So I think here's what we're going to do. I'm going to move this army up, if we can. Let's see. Let's get like about 100 guys. Okay, great. We'll move it up. Now, this may, in theory, entice the United Kingdom to attack. We've got a very, very small garrison here. But if it does incite them to attack, we've got bigger problems than defending Cow and Druin, right? And we've got bigger opportunities, too. And what I'm going to do here may entice them to attack anyway. So what we'll do is we'll get this army as close as we can so that when/if this rebels, we can be the ones putting it under siege. And we can maybe train a few guys or bring them over as well to help out with that. One more season, and we'll be checking back in with the Bjornings. I don't expect, or with the Dunlendings, I don't expect that they're going to be interested in what we have to say, but you never know. Okay, we do have also this public order unrest. And so we're going to need another scout. Let's get this guy right down into Woldburg. Okay, and they've got a rogue. All right, always good to know. Otherwise, I think that's all we can do for the moment. They have actually decided to pull away from our Siege of Garth. You know, I'm wondering if it's... I guess we may as well. We're on our own territory, so we're not on enemy lands. It's not going to hurt us in terms of supply. We'll just let this time out, I think. Alright, so we're suffering a bit of unrest in the Wold because I forgot to train extra troops. So that cost us. Let's go ahead. And now we can't train anything. Okay, but we're under siege there, but what is this? It's a single unit of archers. So we'll just bring up the cav. And I think they ought to be able to do it. And everyone else can just go back in. Problem solved. Here, though, we will have to deal with Gum the Hunter, the elderly-looking heir of the Bjorning army. I think this army itself is probably up to the task. I could pick up some archers. It might be worthwhile, actually. Let's get rid of these, 46 levies of Rohan. And we'll see how this works. Pretty even. And once again, yes, they've got a couple of Bjorning Axemen. They've got a couple Cav. A few archers. Again, it's a pretty good mix of everything. 2 units of dogs, which is probably the most troubling thing there, if they use them well. Now, I'm on the attack. The ground should be pretty flat. Okay. This does look pretty workable. Okay, so the lineup here is a little different. What do we have? 2 levies and some axes and bowmen and skirmishers behind. Okay, I think that's all right. We'll go right here. Yeah.
Reinforcements have arrived, but are they in time to take part in the battle?
Well, those reinforcements are not going to take part in this battle because they are under AI control, essentially, and they're way back here. And so they're not going to appear until we start to take losses, I think. Yep, and it's just my garrison of woodmen axes anyway. So we've got a slight height advantage where we are, but I don't think they're going to allow us to keep that. We're going to have to move forward to do anything effective. of the archers that they're bringing up. I'm gonna just ignore them. And once again, we're gonna play with the cavalry first. Looks like they've got them mostly stacked up on the right, so... Alright, they're moving now. And none of these guys are in play yet. I think that's okay, because I don't necessarily want to... Alright, this is bad. Alright, they pulled off for some reason. Alright, I gotta commit my other cav, though. Those guys can take care of themselves and skirmish away. Alright, they're actually going to pull back to their line. What is this? Alright, some axemen, some other stuff. Yeah, let's charge everybody in, I guess. Alright. That's a unit of cav that is, let's see, I've got my guys. We'll just turn around and take them out. Everyone here is skirmishing. Okay, we're going back to the line. Okay, I don't know why only one of did I just give them a walk order? Okay, that's terrible. Alright, we'll just keep away there, and this unit can come back. Alright, so that took out one of their units of cav. Not great, because we lost a bunch. These guys are very, very vulnerable, as you can see. They'll probably come back, though. There they go. And I don't think I wanted to do that. Certainly didn't want to leave them in that long. Alright, that's war dogs, and let's just charge in with those units. The archers can move up, though. And in fact, let's get all of our cavalry over there. Yeah, see, this kind of thing. That's why war dogs are a problem. Let's bring the other cav over here, though. Maybe we can make a dent in the infantry fight. Woodman Spears winning easily. And they've got some axemen here. This is going to be a lot of losses for the infantry. Alright, but we took out that one unit. Oh, here come the dogs, though. The general's back here. Alright, let's have everybody move in. Actually, you can come here. Yeah, we're getting chewed up. Those are spears. Let's keep you over here, actually. Yep, we're just fighting dogs. Shoot. See if we can get away from that. Alright, some of you guys are not engaged. Some of you are, but what we'll do is we'll charge in with these. I love watching these guys fight cav because they're like as tall as the riders. It's crazy. Alright, this ought to put a stop to this. We did get away from those war dogs, but the Bjorning Axemen still in the fight for now. Let's actually go after the handlers. Can we do that now? Yeah, they're routing. Okay, great. Go after those bowmen. You can go after the spears, and you can go after the Bjorning axes. Very nice. All right, that was bloodier than I wanted it to be, but did the job in the end. We've taken quite a beating with our cav. You know, the good news is we can get them retrained relatively quickly. So we'll have to give some thought to that. That's probably going to be my next goal in between episodes here. But we've cleared out for now what I can see of the Bjornings. Let's bring my scouts around. I thought I had one over here. Yes, he's over in this area. We know that Rovanian has the East Bite. That's great, which means that at least for the moment, while we're not at war with Rovanian, there won't be any attack coming down from this side. It looks like they are ready to fight for mid-deeping all of a sudden. This is on their victory conditions for Rovanian, so this may cause some trouble. And that's kind of why I wanted to leave an army in the area. Probably this army will do for now, and maybe that'll give me time to send these guys back for reinforcement. So we'll march them back towards the Wold. But we will, I would say that what we're going to do next, in between episodes, is deal with this. We're going to get rid of the siege. We're going to move towards retraining some of these units. We are besieged over here again in Garth, but once again, I think I'm just going to stick with this fort. We'll see if they decide to stick with the siege or if they're going to do something different. And over in the west, we've got, what is it, one more season for this? And we do have to check in with the Dunlending. So let's actually do this now before we forget. Lift the siege. Now, there's no way they're going to go for it now, because we have less money than any of the other times we've asked. But this is going to allow us to reset the siege timer, basically. But we have to keep our eye on it, again, because they've got 3 family members, at least. But if this number goes down, we're going to want to back off and possibly even gift them a settlement. So they can stay alive. But I think that's what we're going to do for the next episode. We'll chase away that single unit of archers that is besieging Fairfeld, which we could actually hold out against, but we'll just draw that to a swift conclusion. Get our men in position for retraining, and then we're going to get ready for a push north. I'm not sure if all of these settlements are going to be homeland dominion for us, but they're probably going to be fiefdoms at least. And we can roll this up fairly quickly if there's not another big bunch of armies in the woods. That, of course, is the trick. There's no roads here, so there's no guaranteed open areas. We're going to have to be very careful as we push north, but that's going to be for the next episode, folks. So thank you very much for joining me in this one, and I hope to see you in the next one. Till then, take care.